First, you must realize that you have no idea before you can know the idea. We scan across all the frequencies if we want to learn anything new. Let us begin.
What has physics done for me lately?
Furthermore, the equation E is equal mc squared.
We have now acquired a fateful power to alter and to destroy nature.
That's like when you're in physics and you go to Dreamworld saying, oh, this is a physics excursion.
Science. What is it all about?
The whole of human history all falls in the dust of one stroke of the nail file. You can't really get to grips with evolution unless you realise what an enormous amount of time.
Our own planet is only a tiny part of the vast cosmic tapestry, a starry fabric of worlds yet untold.
You are tuned in to what can only be described as the best radio station on this blue dot we call Earth. It is, of course, for Triple Z, your community broadcaster. Beat it on your conventional wireless radio by tuning into the classic frequency of 102.1 FM, digital devices such as DAB or smart speaker, listening via the Community Radio Plus app, or streaming us live from our sensational website at 4zzz.org.au. And of course, you can always listen back to us or any 4 Triple Z show for that matter using the ingenious on-demand feature also found at that URL. We also have now a weekly podcast of the show for your listening pleasure, curated by Toby, a condensed version of the show without the music, which my mum prefers. Just search for our show name, which is of course No Idea, spelt with a K, your weekly dose of science. And joining me for this episode, what is it, number 666 plus 4?
It is Max, show number 670, and shut it. I don't want to hear it. No, stop it. I can hear the pimple farmers out there already coming back screaming 6-7 through the radio waves. I don't want it. I don't want any text. I want nothing. It is show 670, and we're going to leave it at that.
That's Gabe, by the way. And we also have our friendly neighbourhood marine scientist, Peta. Good morning.
That's me.
Hello, I mean.
Morning.
Yeah.
The Christmas Island red crab starting is great news.
It's
from
so
the
exciting.
Z-Liners news report just before.
Yeah.
I feel like Christmas Island needs some good news.
How big
the
are they?
native shrew was just declared extinct by the IUCN, so nice good news for them.
Out. Yeah, okay.
Not the shrew, the crabs, to balance out the bad news of the shrew. Just to be
the
clear
crabs are
about
doing-
what was the good news.
The crabs are doing pretty well.
200
Crabs
million.
doing great.
Yeah.
I think that's all right.
Yeah. They've got the yellow crazy ants that were taking some of them out a bit more under control, so the crabs are doing pretty damn well.
Cool.
How good's that?
Yeah.
What else we got coming up? I mean, we're not even talking about that. That was it.
No,
That
that's
story's
just
done.
us being excited about
Well,
crabs.
I've got stuff
as
about
usual.
giant statues on Easter Island or Rapa Nui walking around.
Yep, cool.
What do you got?
I got double sharks today.
Double sharks.
Double sharks.
Is that 2 shark stories or 2 sharks in one story?
You'll have to find out.
That's right.
Conjoined sharks is what I'm going for. What do you got, Max?
I'm talking about biocomputing. We'll see how that turns out.
Oh.
Cool.
There might be a few ethical concerns, but that's all right. We'll just
breeze over those
we'll
in this
push
show.
through that. Hit us up, Peta.
We always start the show with a little bit of weird science, don't we? It's one of our favourite things to do. I think our definition of weird has stretched over the years, maybe a little, as to whether, is it the science that is weird? Is it weird that they did the science? Is the finding weird? Or is it just weird all around? Is it weird that they got funding to do the science? That's one of my things.
That might be one, yeah. Exactly.
I love if it's weird that they got funding to do it. Today, it's not the science that is weird, it is the finding. The finding of what they found is a little odd. Indeed. So, we've been doing this for a long time now, Max.
Yeah.
Surely. How many years have you listened to me talk about marine creatures?
5 years.
Yeah. And so surely in 5 years, you know what the biggest fish is.
Oh, no. Yeah.
You have to. Come on, it's not hard.
You fell into that.
You had so much confidence, and I heard you trip over yourself in the silence.
Come on. What's the biggest fish, Max?
Because I was going to say blue whale, but that's a mammal. So.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, some people count that as a fish.
It's not
a fish.
Is a taxonomically useless term, so it may as well include whales.
It does not include whales. That's my line. Whales
I'm
aren't
with
fish.
you, Max. It's a blue whale.
It's not a blue whale. Max, do you have any
Thanks for
other
rescuing me.
ideas?
No, that's it. A big shark.
Whale shark, right?
It's a whale shark. It's in the name, whale, and it's a shark, which is a fish. So, Jesus Christ. They're the largest fish on Earth. They can get up to 18 meters long, so pretty big. And you think this would make them really easy to learn about because, you just look and see them. We think this about a lot of big things in the ocean. Turns out not true. As big as a blue whale is, the ocean is bigger. And as big as a whale shark is, the ocean's much bigger. So kind of hard to learn all about them. There's lots of things about their ecology and their behavior that we just don't really understand still. So like breeding grounds, not 100% on those. What they eat, not 100% on that. Like, which sort of not
so much.
Imagine.
I think it's still true to say that we've never seen a manta ray give birth in the wild.
I think that is still true, yeah.
Okay.
Like, at the very least, it would have been recently.
We still don't know where the eels are going and breeding.
There
don't
was
know
a step
anything.
on that this year,
It was
but
a step.
huge, big, like, black holes in our knowledge.
Anyway, whale sharks.
Whale sharks. So one of the things they do is a lot of scientists will ask for footage of things in the oceans. Obviously they try and get out there as much as they can, but when you can't, tourists are sometimes out there and sometimes they'll see things that you don't. So if you have any footage of marine animals behaving weird, send them in to your local scientist because they actually might really like it. And that's what happened this time. So some local tour guides in La Paz, Mexico, have this deal where anytime there's unusual footage from their dives, they send it to local scientists.
Nice.
And in 2023, they got sent something very interesting. One of the guides had captured a short video showing a whale shark bent over on the seafloor, seemingly vacuuming sediment through its open mouth.
Oh.
So, and I've seen the video. I gotta say, it does really, when they say bent over, it really does look kind of bent at the hip. Like, it's not, you know how most bottom-feeding animals will have, a downwards-facing mouth, so the mouth is on the bottom of the body, and they sort of, glide over the sediment? No. This thing's, at least a meter above the sediment, and then it's just sort of,
Bending.
hinged at the hip.
Not
so its face is
just
down.
angled.
Not just angled,
flat.
no, bent in its body in a weird way, which I haven't really seen a fish do, so I thought that was
I
funny.
didn't think they bent that way.
I mean, not much. I'm not going to pretend it's like us bending over, but it was definitely bend in the body.
Yeah.
So obviously that's weird because it looks weird, but it's also because despite decades of study, people had only ever seen whale sharks feed at the surface, where they filter feed on plankton and krill. You probably have seen videos of it. They basically open their mouth and go at the top of the surface and just breathe everything in. Well, not breathe. They suck everything in. It also wasn't super surprising because there was a little bit of a mystery that had been around because previous chemical analysis of whale shark tissue had actually hinted that they might feed on prey that was associated with the seafloor. Like they had sort of things in their tissue that we were like, well, you'd only really get this from stuff that you ate on the bottom, but we haven't seen you do it, so don't really know. It was a bit of a mystery. And now, it's been filmed. So the shark was filmed leaning downwards, pressing its snout and mouth into the sandy substrate and sucking up the sediment. There's a bit of a difference between sucking up sediment and sucking at the surface. And what do you think that is?
So, what?
But if you're sucking in plankton at the surface, and then you decide to go do it in the sediment, what do you think's a big deal?
Oh, sand.
Sand.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you imagine just
And
there's
probably
in my
microplastics.
head, there's a huge difference between sucking in sand and getting rid of sand out of your mouth.
Yeah. So how do they stop?
Haven't figured that out yet.
So I asked a dugong biologist about this once. Why don't they get guts full of sand? Because they go along the seafloor sucking up seagrass. And they're like, we don't know. Oh, well, figure it out.
That's your next research project. Is it important? They did
It's like there must be some incredible combination of
some filtration or
physics,
something.
controlling the water flow and having some sort of built-in physical blockers as well that is stopping sand from getting into
Because the
their
thing they're
guts,
eating-
and then they must still be able to deal with a certain
Excrete
amount.
it somehow. Yeah.
They have to. Because, the thing they're eating,
They just get
plankton, is
heavier and
very
heavier
small.
otherwise.
That's right.
So they can't swim. You're right, Max, and that's the big deal here. So the plankton that they're eating in amongst the sediment or small bits of fish and stuff is not that much bigger than sand. So it's not like you can just kind of go block it out. There's got to be some cool mechanism of how they're doing this. The one thing they did say is there were visible sediment plumes that were consistent with suction feeding. So they're definitely sucking in the same way they do at the surface, just pulling in a whole bunch of water and getting stuff out of it. They don't know what at the time, their prey target couldn't be identified. They didn't know what they were actually looking for. It was just on the bottom. But they think it might have been benthic isopods, which kind of just look like bugs, if I'm being honest, and other buggy crustacean-y things. So think of insecty sort of things, but marine, living within or just above the sand. But still within. Some of them would have been within, which is really weird because it means they're breathing in that sandy a benthic substrate. So yeah, in the coastal waters near La Paz, it's known to be a seasonal feeding ground for whale sharks. That's why they have the tours there, but they'd never seen this before. And same in Ningaloo. It's I don't know if it has since 2023, but up until that point, no one had ever seen them or filmed them doing this.
Crazy.
So it was brand new. So it shows that whale shark feeding is a bit more flexible and opportunistic than we previously thought. But then now they're sort of thinking like, okay, well, why are they doing this? Like, when is this useful to them? And there's a couple of different ideas. Like maybe it's when the surface prey is scarce, like the planktonic availability and
that makes sense.
Backup food. Yeah. I mean, if I had a choice between sand and sandless food, I would go for sandless food too.
It is a bit like, do you want the nice shrimp that are prepared on a plate, or do you want to eat the ones that are fallen off the plate in the sand?
Yeah.
If I have to.
I'd prefer to eat the one off the plate, you know. We'll see. They also think it might be in deeper offshore locations where we wouldn't really see them because we only see them in the shallow waters when they're coming in to breed and feed, or sorry, feed mainly. And then also they think maybe at night, because sometimes a lot of plankton that sit on the surface during the day actually have these huge, they call them like migrations, diurnal migration, so up in the day and then they go really far down in the ocean at night. So maybe at nighttime, if they're still feeding, they just go, well, I'll just eat the stuff that's in the sand because that's not moving. So yeah, super exciting. Whale sharks are listed as endangered on the IUCN Red List, so we have problems with their populations. We're actively trying to conserve the species. So yeah, we're looking, this is important to know how and where they feed and what they're eating is really useful, because if we had just missed a huge portion of their food chain, it would be really hard. So yeah, super cool news about whale sharks, except not news because it was 2 years ago, but still super cool.
Fair enough. We'll get back in the playlist. Let me set the tone with this song. Because today is what is known as Smart is Cool Day.
Oh, God.
It is celebrated on the 22nd of October to promote the idea that being intelligent is positive and to challenge negative stereotypes about smart people like you, Gabe.
Oh, Max, we shouldn't be talking about this. This is immediately ruining.
I really don't think it's helping.
Any trickle of cool we had in this show is rapidly evaporating.
You thought we were... See, what I was going to say is I think it's hurting the day because we're so uncool.
Yeah.
Aligning ourselves with this is not helping.
Net negative impact on the coolness of smartness.
The day was created to highlight the importance of intelligence, curiosity, and the value of a thoughtful mind. The day aims to push back against the misconception that intelligence is uncool or nerdy. It champions the idea that being clever, thoughtful, knowledgeable is something to be celebrated. It's not just about memorizing facts, but about the way a person observes, interprets, and articulates the world around them.
Do you know what it really is?
Yeah.
This is something I've genuinely thought about for a long time, because I was maybe thought of as a bit weird in school for being like this. But I think being nerdy, it's not so much being intelligent. No one ever thinks intelligent people are weird. Yeah. It's more about when you're nerdy. But being nerdy, and there's something that John Green said a long time ago and really resonated with me, it's just passion. It's just being passionate about something. And like, you should never ever be ashamed of being passionate about anything. Like, it's the best thing in the world to, like, why would you want to be apathetic? That's like, everyone should be so proud of their passions. Think about like when you're chatting to someone and they're talking about something they're passionate about. It's the best time. So just let you talk about your passions. Be excited. Everyone loves it.
On that note, let's turn it up. Enjoy. But why do you believe we just heard Mondo Rock with Cool World. You're tuning to 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max. We've got Issy here, we've got Peta, and we've got Gabe. Part 2. Hit us up, Gabriel.
Max, Rapa Nui, or Easter Island as it's called. Does anyone want to try and pin it on a globe for me? Where's Easter Island?
Can I tell you? I looked it up because my entire life I've been confused. Because I was going to tell an anecdote and then I keep remembering that my anecdote is wrong. So when I was a kid, we sailed around Greece for a bit, and I don't know when this happened.
Nowhere near Greece.
No, I know, but so we were sailing, and my dad pointed at an island, and he was like, "Oh, the Easter Island thing," and he was telling me all about the heads and the statues, and I remember it very clearly because I thought it was a really cool story. And there were statues on the island that we were looking at, and I don't know if he said that was Easter Island, but in my head I was like, that's Easter Island. I've seen them. And so I've told everyone my entire life that I've
you've seen
seen
them?
the
Yeah,
Easter
okay.
Island heads. No, I haven't. They're off of South America.
Yeah. If you draw,
Different
if
spot.
you draw a line between 4ZZZ HQ in Brisbane and Chile in Central East and South America,
You'll
you
hit
get
'em.
about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way along. You might just crash
In the
into
middle of the
Rapa.
Pacific. It's just like nowhere near where I thought they were.
And as you said, they are the Moai statues here. According to the British Museum, which of course has 2 of them,
Wouldn't they? Of course they do.
Only two? Only two?
Did they not bring enough boats?
so they are these large stone statues that are often placed in ceremonial locations, and they're said to be sort of the living faces of ancestors or the mana of ancestors, all that sort of stuff gets
do they
wrapped
have-
up into them. Very similar cultures.
I was going to say, because mana is a Māori word.
And so a lot of them were toppled for some reason in the 1770s. We're not sure why, but there's been
By the British?
so much
Yeah, I was
speculation.
gonna
No, by the native inhabitants.
Oh.
And so
Maybe their
there's been
ancestors
so
told them
much
something.
speculation about what happened to the people on Rapa Nui or Easter Island, and there's been all these ideas. I'm sure you've heard of this idea of ecological collapse, that they depleted the island
Yeah.
of resources and then their
Cut down all the
populations
trees.
collapsed, and there's all this. So much is unsubstantiated, so much is debated. There's a huge debate about what goes on, and one particular thing comes down to these moai, which there's 2 types. So there's a sort of display ceremonial one, which appear on these platforms, and when they were standing, they'd be standing, big tall things. They're like
They're huge.
4.5 to way more than that meters high, 1.5 to way more than that meters wide. Massive things, right? Massive chunks of stone. And so the ones that are in these ceremonial locations, they have this upright stance. They have carved eyes. They sometimes have a traditional hat on as well. And they've got the carved eyes have like bits of coral and
Power?
no, what's the like spongy stone stuff that washes up on the pumice stone. So it's got bits. It would naturally have, or the story say it would naturally have bits of that in there to bring color in. And then the ones on the road, much wider at the base. They have this. They lean forward in their weight, and they don't have carved eyes. So there's been this idea of what is going on here. Like maybe these are different ones for the road to mark roads, or some sort of cultural significance of this road or this pathway to the ceremonial location or whatever it may be. And there's of course been heaps of debate about how the heck they moved these
Yeah,
things.
because they're huge and stone.
Because they're enormous. They're tons. They measure them in tons. And so
from memory, isn't it that they didn't necessarily, like how the Egyptians would use logs and roll things? Their logs weren't really like strong enough to do that either. So there was a big mystery.
There's been for decades, the dominant idea has been this idea that they were laid down horizontally and moved using on wooden devices that involved wooden rollers. And there's this idea that fed into the ecological collapse. Like they got so obsessed or culturally built up around this idea of moving these stones that they cut down more and more trees, and it was fueled the ecological
which
collapse of the
seems
island.
shady.
Which is and it turns out the statues walked to their locations. So the videos from this story have gone a bit viral, and it's what we're talking about here is a long, like 12 years worth of work that has been wrapped up in a new study that's come out and put it all together.
I thought you meant like a really long
Comes
hike.
to us from Binghamton University, QS ranking.
The who now? The Binghamton?
Binghamton.
440.
560.
1,001 to 1,200.
So technically, if you double mine,
If you double it, you were there. Yeah. But hats off to Binghamton University, because they have an open repository called the Orb, which has the paywall paper this paywall paper behind out in the public for freely available research transcript, which is just amazing. And they have a whole bunch of other resources up there too.
We believe in freely accessible science.
QS
What they
ranking one in
did-
our hearts.
Yeah, exactly. They analysed 962 statues and focused on 62 of them that are those road ones, the ones that are on the side of roads. And they did all sorts of work modeling their shape, their size, their lean, their weight distribution, 3D modeled the whole thing. And what they found is they confirmed that those road moai have wider D-shaped bases. So they're physically shaped different, and have an almost 1-to-1 ratio between the width of the base and the width of the shoulder, which is
And
in
so
the ones
if
in the
it's
ceremonial
curvy-
sites, they have a much wider top than the bottom. The bottom is angled in and smaller. They confirmed they lean about 6 to 15 degrees forward. These ones on the side of the road or on the roads, they don't have eye sockets, and they and in comparison, the display ones have those upright stance, narrow bases, carved eyes, and sometimes the hats. And then what they did, because these researchers really don't buy the horizontal transport hypothesis. They don't buy it at all. And so they think the evidence has been for a long time pushing towards this vertical transport hypothesis involving walking the statues.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they, to prove it in this work they've been doing, they made a 4.35 ton replica and walked it 100 meters in 40 minutes using 18 meters of rope and coordination between a team of people. What they did is they stand this thing up. It leans forward on the big D-shaped bowl-shaped base. They have ropes tied around the head where the eye sockets haven't been carved yet. A team of people playing tug-of-war either side, and another team of people out the back to stop it from toppling forward. Remember, it's naturally leaning forward.
Yeah.
So it doesn't want to fall back. It wants to fall forward. So they've got a team at the back.
Which is what we do.
And then the
when we
team on the
walk,
left and right
sure.
go back and forth and back and forth. And like a pendulum, they walk it forward because it's leaning forward
That's
already. So you lean it to the
crazy.
left and you lean it to the right. We've all done this moving heavy objects at some point. You realize you can sort of rock it back and forth.
Yeah, like a fridge or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, like a fridge, and move it along just a little bit at a time and walk it around. And that's exactly what they showed they could do in this experiment. They said they could do it on a flat surface. They could do it up a small slope.
Whoa, up a slope, Jesus.
Yeah, and so they put forward and say this supports the walking moai hypothesis, which is the start of the paper title as well. They also say that previous experiments at the vertical transport hypothesis use improperly proportioned statues.
Aha, bastards.
Yeah, that's it. They said once you get it moving, it isn't hard at all. People are pulling with one arm. It conserves energy and it really moves quickly. The hard part is getting it rocking in the first place. And they say the physics back it up. They did all sorts of modeling behind the physics of how this is working and whether it would be feasible across these
Can
different
I ask,
areas.
did they come into this with the idea that it could have been walked, like before they
Yeah,
did the 3D? Because all I'm thinking is some researcher was probably moving house, started rocking their fridge and went, oh, hang on a second. I've got it.
This is one of those fields that you get in archaeology and paleontology, archaeology for human stuff, where there's fierce debate between teams of researchers. So this team of researchers is very strongly on the side of saying the evidence supports the vertical walking hypothesis. What they've also found was really interesting. They remember this idea that there's maybe the ceremonial ones and the ones on the side of the road and they're different. They said instead they think that the ones that are on the side of the road are actually the result of transport failure. They're just ones that didn't make it to their ceremonial sites. They said 65%, so about 2/3, were within 2 kilometers of the quarry, and they statistically analyzed the distance from the quarry that all of these road statues were placed, and it supported transport failure modeling, not deliberate ceremonial placement.
It's funny to me though, because it means that the transport failure happened, and instead of like laying it down, recarving the base and going again, they're like, well, back to the quarry, got to make a whole new one, I guess.
Well, some of them would have had fallen in a way that they became partially buried, and they could see.
Yes, I remember the partial
one
burial.
Instance, at least there was evidence that they tried to dig it out and it just hadn't worked.
Oh no, not
Others
again.
break, so about a little over 1/3 broke when they fell along sort of natural formations within the rock that had been carved. You know, just like it fell, it broke. Can you imagine getting a 4-ton rock, hundreds of meters, and then it breaks?
Like you carved for weeks this huge ton of rock. You've made it so you can move it, and then it just fails. And then just imagine bringing people to your island. And then it's like, and here's all the failed ones.
And then they also looked at the roads and archaeologically modeled how the roads look, and they found that they had about 4.5 meters wide, which is about as wide as these things would get, and they had a concave cross section. They bend downwards in the middle. So they're like a bowl-shaped road, and so that supports this idea of, and they had prepared surface and non-random braking patterns. Really just shows like supports this idea that they're being walked down this road and weren't being like, why would you have a curved road
if
to
you were
have
using
logs
sticks.
to roll them down, like that doesn't make any sense. It makes a lot more sense that you'd wobble it down.
Yep.
Wobble is probably a better word, wobbling them around. And so they said, and every time they moved them in the experiments, they said it looked like they were making one of these roads. Like it was
It would,
clear a bit
the
ahead and
general
prepare
wear.
the surface,
Yeah.
and then it would make that bold shape or curved shape. And so, they think this is really strong evidence that these road moai are just not finished display ones. They would build them to transport them and then finish carving them on site.
Yes.
And put the finishing touches
Eyes and
on
stuff.
site.
Yeah, cool.
The eyes and finishing the base. And there are still critics and there are still people who are backing the horizontal transport hypothesis. And they challenge people in the paper to prove them wrong. But they said nothing else that they've tested. Everything they've thrown at it supports the vertical transport hypothesis. They quote this scientific philosopher from the 1960s, Karl Popper, who said science must begin with myths and with the criticism of myths. So they're really like
when you're bringing out Popper, you're like, hey, this is science.
And
come
the
at me.
last little detail that won me over is that there are oral traditions in Rapa Nui. The traditional people on the island have these oral stories of moai walking from the quarry.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, no.
There's a widely known walking song from early ancestors, and it's like a song that matches the beat of traditional working songs.
Oh my God.
Like a repetition of pulling it back and forth.
Yeah, case closed.
They could imagine that they're singing this as they're
Wrap her
pulling
up,
it
boys.
back and forth about the ancestors walking. And so they say it not only does this change the specifics we know about these statues, how they were transported and what they might mean, and the sort of the fact that the ones on the road aren't a separate thing, they're just failed transports of the ones that end up in the ceremonial locations. But it also shows the engineering that was going on in the native people on the island, and really does put more evidence countering this idea that they were people who didn't have much sophistication and who led to the ecological collapse of their own island. There's definitely documented population crashes on the island, but it shows that there was so much incredible work going in to these things. It wasn't just carving a big statue and rolling it on some logs. There was really well thought out road placed. I didn't even get into the roads. They went into how the roads were laid out across the island to get the best possible distribution, and how they had parallel routes and exactly. Least and the right slope across and all this sort of stuff. So they say it just shows how much ingenuity was going on in engineering, in getting these things where they ended up being displayed, and just shows the amazing smarts that went into moving these things around the island.
What I like
That's what I got for you, Max.
Yeah, what I like about this study, the impressive bit is they did the 3D modelling of the statues, and then they did computer simulations, but then they went ahead and actually built...
Gave it a go.
Yeah,
yes.
Building it is the
like
right thing to do.
a 4-ton model or whatever it was, and improved it.
Maybe they should swap that
practically.
one out with the one the British Museum has. Like, hey guys, we made one. Maybe you can just give
we'll
that
need
back.
another one. We'll need two.
We'll
That's
bait and
right.
switch.
Well, surely we can just do that. I think that's easier. Give them back.
When it comes to computers, there are generally two types of ware, I'm calling it. Hardware and software.
Yes.
But what about a third type? Wet.
The secret third gender.
This new type of biocomputing aims to harness the computing power of the human brain.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no. Oh, it's happening.
Ethical concerns. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Swiss startup.
Let Zuckerberg into your brain. Let him harvest your neurons.
They're called FinalSpark, which is quite a depressing sort of name anyway.
Yeah, oh my God. What in the Black Mirror is happening? Who started this?
Dark Mirror.
They believe that processors using brain cells will one day replace the chips powering the artificial intelligence boom. AI tools like ChatGPT currently use silicon semiconductors to simulate the neurons and networks of the human brain.
Wait, I'm sorry. So hang on. What's happening here is they've gone the AI revolution where people are like, oh, robots are going to take over the planet and then they're going to kill us. No, we're just volunteering now. We're like, hey, how do we feel about Cybermen? Let's just pop our brains in computers. Yeah, skip the middle bit. Let's just let robots plug into our brains and use them. What is happening?
And they reckon that among other potential advantages of wetware, It could help address the skyrocketing energy demands of AI, which have already threatened climate emissions targets, with some tech giants actively investing in partnering to build their own nuclear reactors. Co-founder Fred Jordan, you can write to Fred Jordan if you want to, explains.
Fred, my guy. What you're proposing is, hey, don't use your brains to think of things. Use AI to do your work, but make sure you plug that through your brain so we don't break the planet.
That's right.
What?
You ready? He explains, biological neurons are 1 million times more energy efficient than artificial neurons, and they can be endlessly reproduced in the lab, unlike the massively in-demand AI chips made by companies such as NVIDIA.
Oh.
To make its bioprocessors, FinalSpark uses stem cells. These cells, which were originally human skin cells from anonymous human donors, can become any...
The researchers?
The researchers.
Can become
we know who it came from.
any cell in the body. FinalSpark scientists turn them into neurons, which are collected into clumps called brain organoids.
No way.
Yeah.
I'm talking about them later.
And then electrodes are then attached to form a network of mini brains.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as it's not using... Like, if you're growing brains in a lab, I'm more okay with that.
You cool with that?
To be
I've
honest.
seen this in a Ewan McGregor movie.
Yeah. Several universities around the world are conducting experiments using FinalSpark's Wetware solution. Researchers at the University of Bristol, QS ranking.
Ooh.
Wetware. Sorry, I'm really stuck on
It's
Wetware. You've
58.
said it twice now.
Bristol.
76.
130.
51.
Ooh.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Used one of the organoids as the brain of a simple robot that managed to distinguish between different braille letters. At Johns Hopkins University, QS ranking.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Wow. That-
36.
40?
Yeah. 45.
24.
Damn.
Are using the organoids to study different brain conditions, hoping to find new treatments. The organoids, which
Using a brain to study the brain, which is sort of
Right.
what we do anyway.
Brain
That is all
seamless.
of neurology, but now it's a brain that's not your brain studying other... Wow.
The organoids, which FinalSpark say lack pain receptors, comprise around 10,000 neurons.
Oh, my God.
For comparison, the human brain has around 100 billion. They are kept...
I mean, wait till you walk into a server room and it's just...
yeah.
It's like squishy lumps.
Brains and
Ew.
jaws.
They kept it...
Is that not what you were picturing already?
yeah,
like a
there's
Dalek.
I've got a photo.
Yeah.
I've got a photo on the document if you want to see it.
Oh, my God, really?
They are kept in an
Hell yeah.
incubator with a screen attached that monitors their health. They are fed with a constant supply of nutrient-rich fluid, which sees them living for around 6 months. Wetware technology, putting aside the ethical concerns, is at
I don't know if
least
there is any.
20 years away from replacing current hardware, if ever. And here's the kicker. When researchers open the door to the incubator, lines suddenly start spiking on the attached screen, to which FinalSpark freely admits they still have no idea how the organoids are able to detect the door opening.
No.
Ew.
What? Oh, no. See, I had no ethical concerns until you said that. No.
The photo.
It's like a bar fridge. What is that?
It is literally a bar fridge with a
Why
bunch
is
of,
pouring out?
Yeah, no, I was actually really cool with this. I was so on board until you said the thing about the door. I don't like that they know that the door is opening.
There's so many like sci-fi references right now.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Oh my god.
Anyway, that's it for my weird science.
Thanks,
Hey, you know
Max.
when you die and you can donate your organs to science?
Yeah.
I don't hate the idea of donating my brain to be a part of like a supercomputer.
No, I'm not about that at all. You reckon when you go over
Okay,
to
never
these
mind then.
researchers, they said they use skin cells, right? You reckon when you go over to these researchers' house, they're like scraping down the couch afterwards?
They're like, I want to invite some really smart people around to my place, get them fast neurons.
And give them some pumice stone.
Oh my god.
Okay. Smart is cool day today. So it's to be positive and to challenge negative stereotypes about smart people. And you know, if you're a smart person, what you should do is subscribe to this wonderful radio station. And you can do that by visiting our website at 4zzz.org.au/support. There's a myriad of tiers there if you're under 18. It's $25. You can subscribe your pet for $25. Concession, $40. Full subscription for the year, $80. Or passionate subscribe for $140. Or super sub, get your name written downstairs in gold ink for $500.
The gold ink is really the bit that's worth it.
It is. You also, we have a monthly sub prize as well. So thank you. You get a randomly picked out of all the people who subscribe during the month of October, and this month it is a big prize, spooky themed, Halloween themed prize pack from Berserk, valued at $500, with all sorts of, what do they call it? Creepy, kooky, and delightfully ghoulish goodies. How good's that?
Cool. Okay. Owen texted in. He said, what sort of wetware computing power would you get from the skin cells from the brown couch in our green room outside?
I don't want to know.
It'd be green.
Oh, it would do such gross stuff on the internet, that computing power.
Yeah. He'd definitely have a Twitter account.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a Dark Mirror thing about this too? I feel like I've seen something on Dark Mirror about
Mirror?
dreams. That's the one.
Yeah. Dark Mirror.
That's the DC version.
I feel like there was an episode.
You tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea with me, Max. We've got Issy, we've got Gabe, we've got Maximillian.
Okay, it's time for the best part of the show. Loosely defined as science, yeah, you already know. Everybody listens to 4ZZZ just to hear us talking about what Butters just did. Subscriptions just keep rolling like the tires on a car. But something tells me that our science covers won't go far. But unlike an engine, I won't keep you in suspension. We're all here to hear him talk, so let's give him attention. You're not ready for when he starts rapping. Gonna hand the mic to Max, and I'm not talking Van Stappen.
That's right, you tune into the MotoRap. And because of, there's a bit of a spoiler alert coming up.
Goodness me.
What the hell?
Is this really a spoiler?
What the hell?
There will be no Aussie anthem this week. So I had to
Really
play
glad
something.
we got the alarm instead.
I was going to say, yeah, but there will be a tornado coming.
The
We'll
number,
get the Z-liners back in with the accident report shortly.
the number still sits at 7 plays this year for the No Idea. So Gabe, you might actually ultimately win with the guess of 8.
8 wins for an Aussie, yeah.
Because only 7 more opportunities remain over 5 race weekends. My guess of 12 is looking pretty like crazy talk now. So,
we are counting the sprints, yeah.
Yeah, we are, yeah. So I said 7 more opportunities over 5 race weekends.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So let's unpack what happened on the weekend at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. And it was a sprint weekend, which meant there was only one free practice. So only 1 hour for them to get the cars in the working window, and then it's straight into sprint qualifying. And Red Bull seems to be performing as well as the McLarens now, which means when you put arguably the best driver in Formula One, Max Verstappen, in a half-decent car, he is unbeatable. And this is exactly what happened. Max qualified.
Are we sure that the Red Bull is now only like half decent, or is it actually decent?
It's half decent because the Yuki can't drive it. So you need the world's best driver to get the most
tame
potential.
the beast.
To tame the beast. And Max qualified P1 for the sprint, with the McLarens in P2 and P3, and a surprising green-coloured car in P4. Nico Hulkenberg.
The mean green machine.
Yeah. What are they called? They call steak still, or what are they?
Yeah, Kick Sauber or something.
Yeah.
2 betting companies.
Yeah. Or a threat against Peter Sauber. I'm not quite sure.
So there's points on offer for the sprint, but the teams also use sprint to gauge tyre wear, because the sprint goes for about an hour. It's 100 kilometre worth of training their models, I guess. And, of course, McLaren didn't have any of that data because they were taken out on the first corner.
Yeah, how do we feel about this? Is this a racing incident, or is that Piastri getting a bit greedy?
Oh, controversial. I saw a lot of coverage on it of Nico using that opportunity to get revenge for the McLarens who did not appropriately champagne him on his first podium in 15 years.
Right. Imagine first podium ever in Formula 1.
Ever in Formula 1, using that as an opportunity to get revenge. There was a variety of different things coming out of it, whether Max Verstappen was whispering in Nico's ear or whether it was just papaya rules collapsing. There was a lot of things happening, and what a sprint race to watch, because as soon as turn 1 came, it all just went into the gutter.
It's one of the best turn 1s on the calendar, I think. It's so cool.
Yeah, I think Piastri did cut the corner too. He came back too quickly, or too tightly, and touched Nico, didn't he? And then
and then all went a bit pear-shaped.
And then papaya rules were thrown out the window. But it was good. Zach Brown, the team principal or CEO of McLaren, didn't assign blame to any one of the McLaren drivers, and even shook Nico's hand. So no bad blood there. Gabe?
Yeah, no, that seems just to be one of those things. You don't really want to go making crazy maneuvers in the first turn because there's 3 or 4 cars trying to go into one. But yeah, I think everyone's just saying it's all fair.
Yeah.
Move on.
So Max Verstappen went on to win in his Red Bull. Mercedes, George Russell was second, and Williams driver Carlos Sainz, he got third. How good is that?
Very good.
That?
With their new livery for the special race, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he did it. Anyway, in the feature race, Red Bull's Verstappen was on pole, McLaren's Lando Norris was P2, and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, P3.
Yeah, they really dialed that in after the sprint.
Yeah.
So in the sprint qualifying, they weren't really anywhere, but suddenly, they were right up there, the 2 Ferraris. So.
And to say that Formula One racing's not boring, that's how they finished.
Yep. Just watch the highlights.
Aussie Oscar, Piastri started in 6th and managed to get one better and finish 5th ahead of Lewis, wasn't it? I think. Yeah.
Damage limitation.
Yeah. Oscar still leads the Drivers' Championship, but for how much longer, people?
Real Jensen Button energy here. Just bottling it at the end of the season.
Yeah.
It's such a commanding lead at like the middle of the year.
Anyway.
I'm worried for him.
There was a bit of controversy before the feature race because a Red Bull team member was found loitering.
I was going to ask
and
about
touching
this.
things he shouldn't be touching.
And this has resulted in an incident we're now terming Tapegate. Because
what happened?
So the idea is like it's really difficult to see out of this current formula, like out of the cockpit of these cars, because you got the halo, you got the winglets, so it's really difficult to judge the position that you have to pull up to on the grid in your grid box. There's a bit of like an orange line on the tarmac that you're meant to use like for your front right, but it is still quite difficult for the drivers to gauge where they go. Obviously, if they go too far forward, it's an instant penalty, right?
5
like
seconds.
it's a false start.
Yeah.
No avoiding that. And if you go too conservatively, you're conceding a sporting advantage to those around you. So it's a real delicate balancing act. So what some drivers have started to do, including one Lando Norris, is actually put a bit of tape or something outside the car to use as a visual reference. So this is then on the pit wall, the outside of the pit wall, put a bit of tape. There you go. Okay, so now I know if in my field of vision I'm seeing the tape at that exact position, I can be pretty confident that I am this far forward in my grid box and I'm happy.
Yeah, and they would practice that back at the factory, wouldn't they? So they'd sit in the car.
I think they'd even do it for practice starts.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, so it turns out Red Bull are a bit cheeky. And they've cottoned on to Norris doing this, and they've just decided after the cars have gone away for the formation lap to just try and rip the tape off the pit wall. So Lando has no idea where it was.
Yeah.
But in response to this, McLaren have now started using anti-tamper tape as well.
Really?
So it's really difficult to rip off.
So Red Bull were fined €50,000, of which they had to pay €25,000.
With some tape.
For removing tape.
What if Red Bull just starts putting up even more tape?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, and it's not so much that the tape is what the issue here is. It's just like a really funny consequence, but it's actually a safety issue where a member of Red Bull's pit crew has gone effectively onto a live racetrack without,
while they're doing the formation lap, where no one's meant to be on the track at all during formation.
Good dinner for the stewards, though, I think.
Yeah, totally. Now, Mexico this weekend, it's going to be back to the traditional format of free practice 1, free practice 2, free practice 3, qualification, and the race on the Sunday. For those who want to watch the race, you'll have to get up at 6 a.m. Monday morning, Brisbane time. So that's 7 a.m. for you, Gabe. That's doable. Yeah. So, and let's hope we get at least one of the McLarens back to their winning ways. I'm hoping. But they have locked up the constructors, so yeah. Any more to add on the Formula One? Okay, Apple, Peter's favourite company, has become the new broadcast partner for Formula One in the United States. And this is probably off the back of the success of the F1 the movie, which has been a box office hit for Apple. It could also mean Apple will finance 2 follow-up movies. Another F1 movie is being talked about.
Oh, God.
F1 2.
F1 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Tokyo, yeah. And the
F2 Fast 2 Furious.
Yeah, I was just cooking up a joke for that.
And possibly a NASCAR movie like Days of Thunder, but a lot better, I would hope.
So you
we'll
mean
see.
Cars, getting Cars 4?
Yeah.
Thank God.
So any more to add on that one?
I heard the rumor was that they might be the same thing.
You're right.
Like the same project.
Oh, okay.
Like an F1 sequel that is also a Days of Thunder sequel. But
okay.
I think that's Tom Cruise maybe having a bit too much fun.
Okay, Pete's listening. MotoGP, I better speak about that. Did you go down for it, Gabe?
No. Just watched it at home.
Yeah.
And I think for the best with what happened during the race.
Yeah, well, it was at Phillip Island, which is down in Victoria. And Sunday's race was won by Raul Fernandez riding an Aprilia. Aussie Jack Miller recorded a DNF. But there was some good news when it came to Moto 2. So that's the second class of MotoGP. Aussie Senna Agius won the race starting from second, riding his number 81 bike. So that's the same number that Oscar uses in F1. Senna did not disappoint with the obligatory shoey while on the podium, made famous by Daniel Ricciardo. So there you go.
Also, yeah, throwing something random in here. Gunther Steiner was also spotted this weekend as well.
Really? At the MotoGP? Or?
At MotoGP, because and Phillip Island, because he is, I believe he's fronting, a group that purchased the Red Bull KTM Tech 3 team.
Right, okay.
So that was a rogue headline I received, but a little throwback to the Drive to Survive star, as we'll call him, and the ex-Haas team principal.
Yeah. Now, because Senna did the obligatory shoey, has Oscar Piastri ever done a shoey after winning a race?
No.
I think they did on a fan stage or something, but I don't think on the podium.
Shoey. I think
What about when he wins the championship, or if he wins the championship?
Well, big if.
Let me see.
Hopefully he locks in. But.
Yeah.
He stated in an interview, the shoey is Danny Rick's thing. I mean, I'm going to get roped in because I'm an Aussie, but I don't know. I'll try and think of something new. I think it's gone and done. I'll leave that to Danny Rick, and that can be his legacy.
Socky.
Yeah.
A socky.
A glovey.
Oh my God.
Okay. NASCAR also have it on the weekend, and it was at Talladega Superspeedway, Alabama.
Socky's crazy.
And what year do you think it was built, Izzy? This speedway? It's a favourite number. 69.
Oh, 1969?
Yeah. Kiwi Shane Van Gisbergen came home in 11th, which was impressive. The more Shane gets to drive on these high-speed oval circuits, the better he seems to get. Barring some bad luck, it won't be long before the former supercar champion is an oval winner. And once he gets that monkey off his back, he could go on to be considered one of the best NASCAR drivers of all time.
Good stuff.
Okay. No more to add, everyone?
No, MotoGP and Formula One this weekend, and Supercars. They're all going this weekend. The Gold Coast Supercars is on.
True.
And we don't have F1 Academy and Sail GP for about a month.
I'll have to skip that because we've got Z50 on Saturday. So
get ready.
You tuned to 4 Triple Z. Show's No Idea. With me, Max. We've got Izzy, we've got Gabe, and we've got our friendly neighbourhood marine scientist.
Here we go.
Fish.
Thank God someone's working on this. I don't know what I'd do without it.
Fish are friends, not food.
Great start. Gabe, what does a cat say?
Yeah.
Max, what does a chicken say?
Cluck, cluck.
And Izzy, what does a shark say?
Gabe hates my intro so much, but honestly, it gets me so hyped. I wanted to be an H2O so bad as a kid because I was on the Gold Coast. I was like, please just see me and feel my aura. I'm like clearly the right person.
I had to put in the show application last week for the next 6 months. Can I pull it back?
Why do you hate my intro? It's who I am. It's me in a song. Okay, so we're going to start. You know how I usually give you guys a little quiz at the start of my stories? I'm going to start today with a little bit of a quiz, but I want to be upfront here. I don't really think about teeth much. Like, outside of when I'm wishing dental was in Medicare or trying to ascertain the diet of an extinct animal, when it comes down to it, like, what do you really know about teeth? You know?
Is that
yeah, that's the question. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to see. Does anyone else know anything about teeth?
They're freaking hard. Rhetorical. I know that. They're tough.
I know.
I mean, they're not that tough. I've got a bunch of fillings. They could be tougher.
Yeah. I was subjected to the torture of like old school orthopedic.
Yeah.
Orthopedic.
Orthodontic.
Sorry.
Yeah,
My goodness. orthodontic treatments, including jaw expansion and
really?
like the
You had that too, Gabe,
railroads.
didn't you?
Yeah, I had that. I'm just imagining you know how people go and get like their foot massage to fix their spleen or something?
It's got,
I'm
like,
imagining you
braces.
going to some weird
Yeah.
massage
Reiki.
therapist.
Yeah.
Oh, if I push in right here, it's going to realign those molars.
That would be amazing. I would prefer that to what I went through. Did we all have braces?
In terms of teeth, and you're talking about ocean teeth, so I'm going to have
No, I'm talking about all teeth. All teeth.
I have a
teeth.
feeling this is going to be shark related because we're going
Sharks
to
do
be
have
talking
cool teeth.
fossilized shark teeth because that's what we get.
It's not
preserved.
fossilized. It is a shark,
Okay.
like I mentioned top of the show, but it's not fossilized. It's some weird stuff about teeth. So what I found out when I was briefly researching this is that when it comes to teeth, most vertebrates have the same sort of blueprint. Regardless of your size, shape, or the sharpness of the teeth, teeth generally have the same genetic roots, the same physical makeup, like the inside-outside sort of thing. Not so much, like shapes change a lot, but like the way they are built. And a similar thing in that they are in the jaw, like they're in the mouth, pretty much. Well, we assumed that all of them were in the mouth and came from the mouth, but not every time, because as usual, the thing challenging this assumption is a fish, specifically the spotted ratfish, which is a species of chimera.
Stupid little ratfish.
Yeah, little ratfish. Oh, I'm going to say that every time I sing that song now. I did lie. It's not technically a shark. It's a species of chimera, which is a deep sea relative of sharks.
Yeah.
So it's not quite a shark, but it's close enough to a shark that you can kind of like pull it under the banner, I guess.
Sharks, the rays, and the chimeras are all one big.
So actually, sharks,
root, right?
rays, and skates are one group,
Skates.
and then adjacent to that group are chimeras.
Okay.
So they've
Shark
actually
adjacent.
Yeah, they're shark adjacent. They're not under the same group. They're not I don't think they're chondrichthyes. But anyway, so they're like a cousin of the shark, rays, and skates. And these guys are found in the northeastern Pacific. I think they're so cute. I just want to say that. Like I hadn't seen them before, and they're really cute. They kind of look to me like an animated plane, like a Disney animated plane. And they've got spots and these huge eyes. Okay, so some people online said that they had a rabbit-like face. And I can see it. So kind of imagine between a rabbit and a Disney animated plane, and you'll have an idea of what this fish looks like. They can get up to 1 meter long, so they're not super tiny. Oh, and yeah, rows of teeth growing in the male's heads, in the front of the male's heads.
Hard as hell.
So the teeth are found on this little appendage that they have on their forehead between their eyes. It's called a tenaculum. And honestly, the best way I saw this described was Squidward's nose. So kind of imagine like a mini Squidward nose in between the eyes of this fish. Usually when it's not being used, they sort of tuck it away in a holding position so it just looks like a little white spot. But then when it's being used, which is in breeding, they pull it up, like up out of their face, almost like an anglerfish, and they can use it to grip onto females. So we knew all of that. But researchers from the University of Washington, University of Florida, and the University of Chicago, you don't need to give me the exact numbers, but let's say in what order?
Well, run it through again.
University of Washington, University of Florida, University of Chicago. Who's on top?
Chicago.
Washington.
It's Chicago. Chicago
Wow.
is 10, Washington is 76, and Florida is 168.
Damn.
And so researchers from all of those institutions wanted to know if the fancy dental work on this little thing are true teeth or whether they're denticles. Now, does anyone remember what denticles are? I've talked about them a little bit. It's a bit niche.
Shark skin.
Yeah. It's almost like a scale. They're
Yeah.
tooth-like scales that cover most sharks, rays, and skates. They do kind of look like teeth, but they're not teeth. The spotted dogfish and a lot of chimeras don't have any on most of their body, right? So their skin is not covered in denticles, but they do have a couple of really specialized denticles on their pelvic claspers.
Yeah.
Gabe, do you have another way of explaining what a pelvic clasper is?
No.
It's the reproductive thing that the fish
Yep.
use to do the deed.
Pelvic clasper, it's in the title, isn't it?
Well, not the clasper is sort of weird, but yeah, the pelvic clasper, and specifically in these sort of things, clasping is pretty important. It's a thing with not just shark, rays, and skates, but all of these fish have to like really grip on to do what they need to do. So they have special denticles on their claspers to sort of grip on, and the ones on their forehead, that was the big question. Are they denticles? Are they teeth? What's going on there? But they're both grippy things for breeding. So What they did is they actually caught and examined hundreds of spotted ratfish from around Puget Sound in the San Juan Islands because it's abundant there. There are no conservation concerns for this fish, so they could get quite a lot of them. And they looked at them at multiple different life stages to try and watch how this appendage develops. And they used micro CT scans and histology, and they tracked how it developed over those life stages. So at the embryonic stage, both sexes, the males and the females, form they call it a pimple bulge between their eyes, which is a rudimentary tenaculum. But it's only in the males does the structure keep growing. So the tenaculum grows in the males past that sort of like puberty, juvenile stage, and it forms a cartilage rod which is anchored to the muscles of the jaw. And as the males mature, the tenaculum elongates and begins sprouting sequential rows of tooth-like structures. And those teeth grow from within the organ, not the surrounding skin, which is one of the first hints, right? They're not coming, it's not like the skin's growing around it and hardening, it's coming from within the organ. But one of the nails in the coffin here was like one of the really key things was that on the tenaculum, they found dental lamina, which is a type of tissue previously thought to occur only inside the jaw. It's not gums, but just sort of imagine something like that, right? It's like imagine that sort of thing. It's a thing that you only find inside the jaw usually. And the lamina, the dental lamina, is important because in things like sharks, it's what generates and replaces teeth. Their fancy ability to replace their teeth, that comes from this dental lamina. And before, it was only found in the jaw. That's the thing. They found this tissue in the tenaculum, the organ on their face. The second nail in the coffin was the detection of the expression of certain genes that regulate odontogenesis, which, if you translate the Latin, literally just means tooth creation.
The beginning of teeth.
Beginning of teeth. They had genes that showed they had beginning teeth in the tenaculum. And then they also compared it to their pelvic claspers. So they compared it to the denticles on their pelvic claspers. Very different. The teeth on the tenaculum have pulp cavities, layers of dentine. Like, they are teeth. They look like teeth. They're teeth. And they form 7 to 8 rows of these recurved teeth that retract into the socket when not in use, grip the females. They also, one extra little thing they did is they examined fossils of ancient primates and found evidence that the early species also had toothed forehead structures, which suggests that it is not something that they came up with after they split with sharks, but before. So it's a really ancient thing that they've kept it because they can use it to grip onto females. Their teeth! That's the big finding. They are teeth. Yeah. They have teeth growing out of their foreheads on these little Squidward noses.
To latch onto females during mating.
Yeah, I haven't touched on how truly horrific it is to think about the female's perspective here because she's being latched onto.
And it's just in the males?
Spaces. It's just in the males. Just in the males that these teeth grow.
I'm so happy I had breakfast before I came to this show. Like, truly. Yeah. Between the pimple and the tooth, it was just...
And the brains in the fridges.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm so sorry if you're eating lunch.
Yeah, good God, imagine that. They do... So it's a huge thing in evolutionary biology, of course. Like, not only is it huge because we've found teeth outside the jaw, we might have found the teeth originated outside the jaw, which is the big thing. So there was this whole debate where people kind of just assumed that because teeth are only in the mouth, they must have started evolving in the mouth. And these researchers were like, well, we don't know that. Maybe they have actually started somewhere else and then moved to the mouth. Maybe we had teeth all over our bodies, which is truly horrifying. Like, if you want a good Halloween costume for next week,
like built-in
just
Velcro.
Teeth everywhere. Oh, good God, that is horrific. Yeah, that's where my line was. But yeah, very cool. And they basically what we need to do from here is just go back to the drawing board and check teeth on everything in places that aren't jaws from that point. So chimeras backwards. Maybe check in case things had teeth in odd places because they don't all live in the jaw.
If no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire
4ZZZ. I reckon I can do that voiceover. Thank you.
No reverb. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, do it right now.
4ZZZ.
Nice. You're listening to 4ZZZ.
Or you tuned into 4ZZZ.
Oh, are we? I thought we were just tuned into 3RRR. I was very confused.
And the show is No Idea, your weekly dose of science with me, Max. We got Peta, we got Gabriel. What do you got for us, Issy?
As summer approaches, it may be tempting to try a new sport, but I'm your conscious auntie telling you do not fall for the devil on your shoulder telling you to get into pickleball. Do not do it.
Don't do pickleball.
Why? Tell us why.
If it wasn't for the unusual rules or even weirder terms, what the hell is a kitchen and why is it in my pickleball net? A recent paper... Yep, that's a proper term. Kitchen.
Look up the rules.
A recent paper published in the Journal of American Medical Association, or JAMA, was led by researchers at Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School, Veterans Affairs, New Jersey Healthcare System, outlined that there has been a surge in eye injuries corresponding with the growing interest in pickleball. So if you didn't want to eat your lunch earlier, get ready.
Don't now. Still keep waiting.
Put it away. They identified 2,472 records relating to pickleball injuries from 2005 to 2024. So almost
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. There we go. Thank you. 19
Maths
years
is not the subject of this show.
It is not.
So we're all clear.
They recorded that 73 injuries related to pickleball was recorded prior to 2014. As of 2024, there is an estimated 1,262 eye injuries. So quite an increase.
Oh, gross.
They also looked at the demographic of patients incurring pickleball-related eye injuries. Average age was 53.9 years, and 56% of injuries occurred were amongst male participants. So if you're...
Based on that demographic, did they do a comparison with eye injuries in golf? Are we reducing the overall eye injuries?
Interesting.
Or
that would be something to push. Squash.
No, let's keep going on this golf angle, because if there's something we can do to ban golf, we all know I'm very on board with that.
We are apples and pears, of course, apples and pears, but that would be really interesting.
Someone should do that.
You can fit a lot of pickleball courts on a golf course.
You can.
Sure can.
You fit a lot of houses too.
Additionally, they looked at the types of players getting injured as well, saying it was possible that casual players were more susceptible to injury due to limited experience, unfamiliarity with the game, or a lower level of physical fitness. And they defined casual players as playing fewer than 8 times per year, rather than core players who played 8 times per year or more.
Okay.
Which I think is really interesting.
8 is like a low number per year. I thought you were going to say like per month or something, or quarter. That's not much.
This is the icky part. An estimated 43% of eye injuries in the study were attributed to direct pickleball impact, underscoring the role of ball speed and force in ocular injury risks.
What's the rest of it?
Actually true.
I assume that was all.
Actually,
What's
no,
the rest?
I once hit my friend in the face with a badminton
I was going to say,
racket. So.
I have seen someone bleed because they've been hit with a cricket bat in the eye socket, so it could be skin related.
Jesus.
So it doesn't have to be directly in the retina or in the ocular, it can be around it.
Oh god.
They quoted biomechanical analysis have demonstrated that a pickleball traveling faster than 82 kilometers an hour or 30 miles per hour can deform the cornea, retina, and the vitreous, and can exert stress sufficient to dislocate the lens.
Jesus.
Okay, just so we're clear, and I content warning, I guess, from my own brain.
Yeah.
I am really glad that this isn't going where I thought it was going, which is, to me, just changing the shape of your cornea is preferable to it falling out, which is what was happening in my head.
No. So other severe ocular injuries included retinal detachment, globe trauma, orbital fracture, and hypothermia. Currently, and this is what shocked me, there are no official guidelines existing regarding eye protection in pickleball.
You probably should just wear some goggles, man.
Yes.
It's not that hard.
So eye protection is not mandated for casual or professional pickleball players. Now, this is set in the US, so Australia does have different guidelines. Most recently, in March 2024, US Pickleball, the governing body for pickleball in the US, disapproved of a rule change that would mandate players wear eye protection in US pickleball tournaments, citing challenges with enforcement. Also, although recommendations were made to the US Pickleball to develop a comprehensive policy, such guidance is yet to be issued. Furthermore, many pickleball clubs and public recreation areas do not require players to wear eye protection. So that is crazy.
Just bring some goggles.
And I'm very happy to see that of the pickleball players that I do know, a lot of them do wear eye protection, especially playing in Australia in the sun. That is a really common factor for people
I thought it was indoor. Am I wrong about that?
It can be indoor and it can be outdoor.
And they use different balls then. So the outdoor play, I think they use smaller holes in the pickleball itself. And
is it heavy?
And
the ball?
No, it's just made of plastic.
It's a plastic hollow ball.
Yeah.
See, this is what I was thinking of. Is when I played hockey,
Yeah.
I had to do this insane maneuver called a short corner, and in one of them, my friend's head got cracked open, and it was not mandatory to have face protection. My school only we didn't even buy them. We had to take them off other teams. And I think in professional play, you do now have to have face protection during short corners. But it was a real push against it because afterwards you have to like throw it off the field. It's kind of annoying. But as someone who's been in one of them, dear God, do you know how scared I was of balls hitting my eye? Like those things are heavy. It's terrifying.
I was also going to say, I'm trying to pull up the policy, but the United Pickleball Association also implemented a rule February earlier this year about intentional or reckless targeting of an opponent above the shoulders. So that's where a lot of your eye-related shots would be coming to.
Yeah.
And that also, a penalty would be received and a minimum of $2,500 fine would be given to any player who broke that. And there was a lot of backlash, apparently, because it was seen as softening the game.
Yeah.
Which I think is crazy.
But I think the same thing should be pulled across in every sport. Because I agree that there was, again, in hockey, a girl hit me in the face once with a ball because it was a good way to get me out of the way.
Yes.
Like it's a thing that you do in sports that you shouldn't do in sports.
Yes.
They said the same thing in cricket when they
of
the
course.
helmets,
with the helmets. Yeah.
And then when they mandated the number of bounces you can bowl, and people get over it. I had a quick look. Izzy, you said 43% were directly hit by the ball. 28% of eye injuries were apparently from falls, and then 12% were directly hit with the paddle.
Yeah, paddle,
there we go.
Paddle doesn't sound great. Fall is like maybe your own fault.
I was going to say, when they were looking at the average demographic about 53, and a lot of them being casual players, that doesn't surprise me that falls, and especially on a court, they're not easy on the skin. Overall, researchers urge that increased awareness for age-specific risk factors and establishing a standardized recommendation for eye protection may help reduce injury rates and prevent vision loss. So this seems like a no-duh. So if you're heading up the pickleball field this summer or whenever, maybe bring a pair of sunnies or maybe have a look at getting some eye protection as well.
Cool. No idea. Space news. You know it. The James Webb Space Telescope sits 1.5 million kilometres away from Earth at the Sun-Earth Second Lagrange point L2, which is a stable location where the gravitational pull of the Sun and Earth keep the telescope in orbit. Now, a special shout-out to Australia's Professor Peter Tuttle for designing the aperture masking interferometer, or AMI. It is the only piece of Australian engineering on board the Space Telescope designed to check the scope's resolution in real time. It was included to diagnose and measure for any blur in its images. The AMI filters light with a carefully structured pattern of holes in a simple metal plate. It makes it easier to tell if there are optical misalignments from the 18 segment mirrors. Pretty impressive, eh?
Yeah.
SpaceX started successfully landing their boosters around 10 years ago, and now they have reached another milestone. They have landed their 500th booster, and one particular booster has made the trip to space and back an impressive 31 times.
Wow.
Going against the now infamous quote from 6 years ago by CEO of SpaceX competitor ULA, who believed that the economics of reusable rockets is still up for question. He argued that it is still difficult to ensure that using reusable rockets instead of expendable machines actually saves money. So, yeah, the numbers are in. I wonder what he's thinking about now. And finally, I've got to play a bit of this.
My favourite part.
No, fully.
I've got 3 words for you. Don't look up.
Nice.
Some debris.
Well, you don't do it now because you'll see the sun. You'll burn your eyes.
Some debris was recently found on a remote access road to a mine site located in Newman, Western Australia. Police say initial assessments indicate the item was made of carbon fibre and may be a composite overwrapped pressure vessel or rocket tank consistent with aerospace components. It is not consistent with anything that would belong to a plane. So I'm thinking A, it's human-made space debris, or B, the more tantalising prospect, especially if you're a Mulder and Scully fan, it is alien spacecraft debris.
Why would aliens use the same carbon fibre technology that we do?
Why not? Have some fun and whimsy.
Yeah.
No, see, this is what I think is not fun and whimsy. I think fun and whimsy is being like, never mind. Doesn't matter. Maybe I'm not fun and whimsical.
The
but
truth
it just feels
is
like
out
an
there.
improbability to me.
The truth is out there, exactly. Okay, you tune into 4ZZZ, and the show is No Idea, but not for much longer. Sign us out, Gabe.
That is all we have time for. Sass texted in and is a vote for the H2O theme in the marine
Yes!
Intrepid.
Yes! It's continuing.
Please.
Yes, this is all we have time for on this week's show. Powered by Brain Organoids and brought to you thanks to all of the subscribers to 4ZZZ. You can join them at 4ZZZ.org.au. Look up the subscribing options or add /support 4ZZZ.org.au/support. We'll get you there. You can also on that website listen back to the full recordings of this show and a bunch of our previous shows with all the music in there. The condensed version edited down into a podcast is available wherever you listen to your pods. Just search No Idea 4ZZZ. That's no with a K. No Idea 4ZZZ. We will be back in your ears next week. I've got a story on lead poisoning and how it may have contributed to the evolution of humans in a very strange way. We ran out of time this week, so I'll get into that next week. And some more brain organoids in that research as well, Max. Between now and then, remember to walk your statues, don't give FinalSpark your skin cells, protect your eyes from pickleballs, and don't go home with a guy if he's got teeth on his head. Right now, Eco Radio is coming your way, taking you through for the next hour. Max, what are we playing ourselves out with today?
Well, we just want to thank Owen, Zach, Sass, and Liz for texting. What's Liz's comment there?
Oh, I'm not going to say that.
Come on, Liz. Can we? We can do a content warning.
Liz, if you can put it in the database, we can play it for you next week.
Squidward's Nose by
Cupcake. We never thought we'd hear it, but we never thought we'd hear Taylor Swift either. So anything's possible or no
If it's
idea.
in the database, we'd love to,
It's
Liz.
possible.
And we'll speak to you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
I'm a goddamn marvel of modern science.